Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of In Between the Stitches. As always, I'm your host, Brady Wilson, with my co-host, Chase Solschwanger.
Good afternoon.
And it is a good afternoon. It is here on this kind of rainy, cloudy Wednesday afternoon here in Denton, Texas.
But it's not 100 degrees.
But it's not 100. Oh, it's so nice outside.
Yeah,
it really is. I'm someone, I like the sunny weather. As a baseball fan, that's always great weather. But I also am a fan of the kind of the cloudy, gloomy kind of weather. So, again, not much hockey, not much basketball, but we're going to start on the sad note for hockey fans. Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey, and his brother Matthew were killed by a drunk driver. They were in town for their sister's wedding.
Yeah, just terrible.
And they were riding their bikes, and guy was drinking and driving, and he hit him, and they died. And it's I hate to start on a somber note, but then this was a superstar hockey player, man. I mean, and his brother was a prospect, and so. But the important part is, and we can, the hockey world, yes, the Columbus, yes, they lose their best player and all that, but mother loses a son, father loses a son, sister loses a brother, two brothers, right? I mean, so it's just a very sad deal.
Yeah,
and
I mean, they were in town for their sister's, once in a lifetime event, and it's
tainted.
Not only was it, I don't want to come across on a bad way of saying like it ruins the weekend, but like
it's tainted.
It's you're in town for a very special celebratory moment, and it's all just taken away because of one person making stupid, reckless mistakes.
Which again, do not drink and drive. Call an Uber, call Lyft, call a friend. I don't care. Don't do it. It's just not a smart idea. And I think stories like this continue to prove that. But we wanted to mention it just because we didn't want to just gloss over like it never happened. So I don't like it when I know some people say, well, you shouldn't cover topics like that. I said, I think they should. Because if you just gloss over it, then it should carry some significance.
Yeah.
But now we're going to get on to more happier, not death things.
Because the Mavs are next.
Mavs tickets go on sale tomorrow, I believe, and so if you're a Mavs fan, I'm a Mavs fan, but if you're someone looking to get tickets, like the man sitting to my left here, then I assume you're waking up an hour before. Today's the day,
Yes.
Everyone's. I'm sure that they're going to go for a lot of money, but I dropped money on opening day tickets for the Rangers, so I understand it, right? So that is tomorrow, but again, just not much news in the. I mean, once we get closer, we'll drop predictions. But right now, it's just nothing going on. Baseball. Well, we had a really, really, really fun thing last night with
Clay Holmes, one of his best performances of the year, actually.
With Wyatt Langford, grand slam, grand salami, break out the rye bread and mustard, Grandma. It was a great moment. This season has had some great moments, and we're not out of it. I hate the fact that they're giving me hope. But we're not out of it at this point. At this point in 2011, the Cardinals were also 9.5 games out of first. So it is conceivable that it could happen. It's just one of those. It requires the teams above you to just collapse like monumentally. So
I mean, realistically, it's not happening. Unfortunately,
especially since they're putting Seager on an IL, and Malley's not going to start for the year again. Neither's Gray. They're kind of talking like a team that's not going to go to the playoffs. I mean, you never know what can happen. But I think the way they're treating the season is, okay, let's just build some confidence for next year.
Yeah, let's move on. And listen, defending champs for about a month. And
hey, no. We are still defending World Series champions.
You're welcome. Yeah.
So
sorry. What defending? The defending tag goes away in a month?
Or the defending tag goes away in a month.
So the reigning champs for another few months, couple months.
We'll be the reigning champs until anyone is crowned.
But I mean, the season was, you can be as positive as you want, but the season was bad. It was not what we expected.
Disappointing.
Disappointing. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It was disappointing. All the professionals talking about how the Rangers, nobody had the Rangers repeating, and everyone thought that was a little disrespectful because the team was only going to get better, right, with the injuries, with people coming back, and it just didn't go the way we thought it would. There was a lot of injuries. There was people just playing down to their potential. Just a lot of things that went wrong that that could have gone wrong went wrong. So, it's just unfortunate. I'm extremely grateful for this team, what they did last year, and that, that's not being overshadowed.
Right.
But disappointing season, and I'm just, at this point, just ready for the next season.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to. It's kind of how you have to approach, I think, the rest of this season, the Rangers fan.
Yeah.
Some good news: Elvis Andrus is going to retire as a Ranger.
Yes.
I believe
Angels.
Friday.
Yeah, the Angels game.
So good for him. Probably gonna go in our Hall of Fame. More than likely, I would assume. And not gonna retire his number, but one of the better players in Rangers history.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, on the 2011 and 2010 teams, was kind of the young guy on that team, on those teams, and then 15 and 16 was kind of our Marcus Semien, our team captain. So Elvis will be missed in their own baseball, and now, but to my knowledge, he is the final one. He is the last man still standing in Major League Baseball from the 2010 and 11 teams.
Yeah.
So it's kind of poetic that the year after the Rangers win it, he retired. He's going to retire, and Cruz obviously retired a couple days after.
This might be a dumb question, but are they doing it for the Angels because Ron Washington will be there as well? Okay,
that would be my. I would venture to guess this has been in the works, and they've because it's Wash. I don't think that's a happy coincidence.
Okay.
In my opinion.
I mean, I figured it was because
Right.
Wash is going to be in the building, and might as well have his guy there.
Right. But again, baseball, really, the races are. This is where it starts. It is September the 4th. So you've got about a month till the season, is over. And you still got a lot of races. I feel like the American League West is more than likely going to be Houston again. Get that bad taste out of my mouth now. The East is coming down to Baltimore, New York. The Central, you could say the Twins and the Royals are in it. I think Cleveland's just going to continue to pull away. They're just such a good team. The same thing in the National League East. The Phillies are kind of pulling away from the Braves and the Mets. I mean, they're catching up.
I really hope the Mets make it.
They're catching up, but especially the Mets on a 6-game winning streak here. But the Phillies, I think, are just too good. The Phillies are just too good.
No, Phillies are winning the division for sure. I'm just hoping the Mets can find a way to squeak into the wild card.
The Brewers are gonna. I mean, they've pretty much locked up the Central, and you got to give them a ton of credit.
The Cubs are making a comeback though, aren't they?
They've won 7 of the last 10. And that's actually 2-game losing streak too. So they're 10 out. I don't see that happening.
I'm talking about just like to the wild card. You cannot see that.
And then I'm getting to that. And then the Dodgers, 5.5 up on San Diego, 6 up on Arizona. I mean, you feel pretty confident in their lead, especially with the team they have. The league come down. Besides the American League East, comes down to the wild card. Yankees are up 5.5. Minnesota's up a game. Royals. And then you've got Boston 4.5 back. Detroit's actually 4.5 back. Seattle's 5.5. And I think past that point, unless we make a run at 8.5 back, I don't trust Toronto or Tampa Bay. And then obviously you have the 3 drags of the league. You have Oakland, LA, and then Chicago.
Hey, Oakland, since the All-Star break,
hey, they've been on a tear.
Oakland has the second best record in baseball since the All-Star break.
They are probably not. They are not going to lose 100 games this year.
No, I really do like their team.
They're probably going to. They're definitely going to probably get into that 70, 72 win range. So probably about 90 losses, roughly there. Which is, I mean, hey, that.
But listen, they keep this
good
team,
for Mark Kotsay.
They keep this team together. I mean,
if they can continue, they're not going to add free agents. But if they,
no.
I hate. Do you know what I hate though about it?
They could be a respectable 4-seed team in the American League West.
I can tell you this. I hate that actually becoming good, because it means that if you were to look at their team on a timeline, right as they're probably moving into Vegas, that team's going to be great and ready to add pieces.
Yeah.
And then John Fisher's going to add free agents
in Vegas,
and I hate that.
Yeah,
it bothers me that I don't wish it upon them. I wish it upon the owner. I want to preface that. I wish that team was 120 losses a year, not because I hate Mark Kotsay or the players. I hate the fact that from what I'm seeing from this team, how young they are, and how they should only be able to get better from here. That. In fact, the veterans they add are usually bad ones. I mean, like Ross Stripling's been kind of bad for him this year. So I think that when you're looking at the A's, they're going to be good in a few years again because the rebuild is going to happen.
I mean, but like Brent Rooker is becoming a superstar. Lawrence Butler is becoming a future All-Star. I mean,
he looks
He
great.
looks great, and even as a division rival, I've never disliked the
I never
A's.
hated
I
them.
like the A's, and they're a great. They're
And then you've got the White Sox.
Yeah.
Chase. 31 and a 109. I can't stress to you how the Rockies are at 88 losses.
is that what? Are they 12 away from the record?
The record is 120 from the Mets.
So 12? 12
40, 42 and 120. So how many games do they have left? I'm not
31 and
so they're-
109, that's 140.
So hold on, they're
22.
They're at 140 games. So they've got 22 games left. They have to win. Of those 22, what would that be?
13.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
No. They'd have to win, 13.
That's not happening.
No, wait, that doesn't sit the math's not
Wait,
nothing.
no.
12 games.
12.
They'd have to go 12 and 10 to
that's
not tie the record.
That's not happening.
They would have to go 13 and 9 to not be. Wait, no, 12 and 10. No, 12 and 10 to not to be under, because if they lose 10 more games, then they're at 119.
If they win 11 games,
If they win anything less than 12 games, they will either tie or break the record.
Yeah, and that's happening.
That is not happening in terms of them accomplishing that feat of winning more than that. So, like, if they go 10 and 12, then they are one less than the Mets, the 62 Mets. They're not going to be the worst winning percentage. I don't even think they have the worst win. I don't even think they'll have the worst loss total, because I think it was like an 1890s team that had a worse one, but it was like 140 games. They lost like 120 something games.
Ooh.
So they're not gonna. That winning percentage will never be topped, or never be topped. Is that the right word? Will never be lower. But I mean, I want you to guess how many games they're back in the wild card.
38 and a half.
You're saying 38 and a half? Higher.
Higher what? Wait, in the wild card?
In the wild card.
So the Royals.
The Royals. Don't do math.
I'm trying to think where the Royals, I think, are. They're probably, 70 wins? 75, maybe?
All right, I'm gonna give you this one.
43.
They're at 44 games back.
Okay.
How many do you think they're back of Cleveland? It's
50.
comical. You are a half game off. They're 49 and a half games back. I can't. That's
Don't rule them out.
that's. I mean, if they win out, that's still a 109 loss season. That's still like just the worst season ever. And I think the funniest, and sorry to Jordan, but the funniest thing ever is that they can't get number one overall pick because of the lottery.
Yeah.
They're ineligible for like top 3 or something crazy. So like, we'll get that information probably for next year. But like, they can't have the number 1 pick because of the lottery rules and tanking. They are in dire straits right now. But other than that, with baseball, we'll continue to monitor the races.
Yep.
And then, well, that's it for other sports. So we move to America's game. We move, not my dad got mad at me for saying that one time. No. Baseball is the national pastime. Football is America's game. They both represent America. So does basketball. Does basketball have a nickname? Football's America's game. Baseball's a national pastime. Does basketball have one?
Not that I can think of, but there might be.
We need to get one for basketball. We got college football. And last week, if I go on to my handy-dandy little sheet here where we, put everything in games, it was a fun week. And we anticipated it being a really good week of college football. And if you heard that squeak,
There's
that's the mic. We had North Dakota State at Colorado. That was a really good game. Travis Hunter looks unreal. Colorado looks
The same.
slightly better than last year, maybe. Oklahoma killed Temple. Georgia absolutely murdered Clemson. Shocker. Me saying Dabo Swinney is not a good coach. I don't believe he is. He does not use the transfer portal. That decision looks terrible now. And then if you also look at, I think he got saved by having Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson as his quarterbacks. Penn State was able to beat West Virginia. Vanderbilt won a close overtime thriller against Virginia Tech. Miami absolutely shellacked Florida. Napier is not going to survive the year. There's no way. There's no way that Billy Napier does not get fired.
Yeah.
At some point in the season. My guess is going to happen in November. That's just my guess. And then you had the kind of one of the big ones, Notre Dame at Texas A&M. Both teams looked good in terms of defensively.
Yeah.
Both teams looked a bit rough offensively, especially Texas A&M. So we'll just have to try to see what A&M ends up being. Notre Dame looks good, not national champion good, but hey, they might squeak into the playoffs good. And then you've got LSU at USC, which was a fantastic game, which would be my pick for game of the week. In terms of, you have two ranked opponents. And it was a great game.
This upcoming week you're talking about.
Oh, last week.
Oh, last week.
Like the best game of the week.
Yeah.
Both quarterbacks, Nussmeier and what's the USC's quarterback's name? I thought it was Will something.
Oh,
you know who I'm thinking of?
Yeah. I mean,
he looked fantastic.
Mm-hmm. He looked. I forget his name.
And so did Garrett Nussmeier. Both of them looked absolutely amazing. Both defenses looked great. Both teams I felt like could be playoff teams. Just that may be one of LSU's losses. USC's defense looked much improved. I mean, they looked a lot better. It was just a great game. USC has a ton of receivers. Receiving. They have got. I'm not gonna know all their names, but they're kind of. It was one of those. All these guys are who's gonna are here. Who's going to emerge? Well, like three of them emerged.
Yeah.
So both teams look great.
Branch, I think was his name.
Yeah, Branch, and then you've got the game that everybody's talking about, which was Boston College, now under the Bill O'Brien reign. Looked good. Looked really good.
I mean, Florida State, they are cooked.
And then you've got the Seminoles.
They are cooked.
Well, one of my teams coming into this year that I was really excited about has started off terribly. But I want to make a note. When you're right, I give you the flowers. I was right about something, I'll give myself the flowers. I called this when Lawrence went down at Clemson. And they brought in DJU. I'm not going to attempt to say his last name. I think it's Ugalagale. But yeah, I think that even just, or Ugal, I'm not. DJU. I said when he came in for an injury, I went, this guy can't play. Because they were touting him as like, oh my God, this guy. I think that was it. He played it. He started a game when Lawrence was like hurt or wasn't playing. And I went, this guy can't play. He's terrible. He has all the physical tools of a quarterback, but absolutely none of the mental tools. He's just bad. There's nothing about him that's really that good. He has good arm strength, but yippee. Like, he can run, but like, this guy can't play. And then he gets a starting job at Clemson. I'm proven right. I said he needs to go to a lower tier program where he has less pressure. He goes to a lower tier program at Oregon State, has a good season. Then when he transferred to Florida State, I went, that's a terrible decision. He's going right back to what made him unsuccessful, which is better competition and higher pressure. And what happened? He looks terrible. So it's not a
quarterback changed and Florida State's right back on the map, or
I have no idea.
I don't know what the plan is.
It's not a good look for Florida State.
Not at all.
Because you whined and complained about the playoff decision, rightfully so. I wouldn't have put you in, but I also think you have a right to complain about my decision to do that. I actually think the committee made the right choice.
Yes.
In terms of the four best teams. I love that Georgia had an argument. I'm like, well, how? Bama beat them. Like, no. And then Florida State was great, but they were not. They looked terrible against Louisville. They squeaked out Louisville. And then they got shelled against Georgia in one of the bowl games.
Yeah.
And then they were all the NFL starters weren't playing. Or all the NFL guys. But you come into this year with such high expectations and then just to fall so flat just is not a good look. I mean, to lose Georgia Tech, who is now ranked. Yeah. Okay, that happens. To then lose to Boston College, no disrespect to Boston College. I like Bill O'Brien. I think he really has a great. I think he better fits. That's what I'm looking for. Better fits the college game. Yes. I think at this point in his career,
very much so.
So I think he could maybe try to turn BC around because they actually have some really good alumni. Because good school, a lot of money. See where they can be football wise, but Florida State looks terrible. It was just bad all around. So there's your college update. There's really only one game of note, in my opinion, this week. I mean, there's some, like, Arkansas, Oklahoma, some games like that, but the big one is at the Big House.
Texas, Michigan.
That is University of Texas. Longhorns, Hook'em Horns, going to the Big House to play the Michigan Wolverines. I'm picking Texas. I assume you're picking Texas, too, because Texas looked really good against a lower-tier opponent. So then they go and they're facing a national champion that looked okay. Looked weird.
Yeah.
In that game against who they play against?
It wasn't anyone special, and they won 21 by 21.
So
it was. Yeah. We'll see.
It's
you're in the Big House. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
No matter what.
But now we move to usually one of our longest segments of any of our podcasts, which is preseason of the NFL. Because every week we're bringing it back. Obviously, we're bringing back every week. We write down our predictions, each game. I say who's going to win. Chase says who's going to win. Chase won last year. Yay. And then we tally up the total record from each week. Ties don't count because we hate ties. And I don't know if Chase hates them, but I know I hate them, so I say we. But this is also the week because first game is tomorrow. Baltimore at Kansas City. Because of that, we give our season predictions in terms of, record and positioning because that matters. And I think I think we should actually do another extra point if you pick a team that goes to the playoffs. So like if you had a team, so we're gonna we didn't do it last week, but this year, I'm gonna try to remember this. I may not, but if you can, you get a point for correct placing, first, second, third, or fourth. You get a point for correct record, and we're gonna do a point if you say they're gonna be a playoff team or not. Okay. So whether division winner or wild card. We'll count both because that'll be a way to get extra points. So we're going to go east, west, north, south, if that's okay with you, Chase.
Let's do it.
In the AFC East, do you want to do first or do you want to do fourth? Do you want to go 4, 3, 2, 1, or do you want to do 1, 2, 3, 4?
I mean first, I think.
In first place, I've got the Jets, 12-5, good defense. I think Rodgers will be healthy. Now, again, all of these are based on what the teams look like right now.
Yeah.
You can pick the Jets to be successful, and then Rodgers gets hurt again, now we're screwed. So I want to make a note of that. My predictions are solely based on what each team looks like going into the season. Because I will not account for injuries. It is too difficult. So my first place team is the Jets at 12-5. Chase?
I have the Jets in first.
Okay.
At 11-6.
All right. And if I'm going to give my reasoning for why I have them there, if you have something different, or if you want to give a reasoning,
but I'm not gonna go into much depth. Just to not take too much time.
Well, we're good on time. Dolphins, I have at second place at 11-6. Obviously, high-powered offense. Some question marks on defense, but I trust their offense enough that amount of talent, and I actually have them as one of my wild card teams.
And we're kind of trending in the same pace here because I have the Dolphins in second at 10-7. So we're one game.
10-7.
We're one game apart on both of the top two seeds, but we both we agree at the same positioning.
Then I got the Bills at 9-8. I think McDermott's going to get fired. I think their window is closed. I think they have. Dude, I cannot talk right now. I'm sorry. I'm getting over like a sinus infection, so. I'm trying not to cough into the mic because I don't want you guys to hear that, but I think McDermott's going to get fired. I think that they have no receiving talent. I think they have just very little talent on offense. They're going to be they're going to be a power run team, and we'll see how that works. But I think they've lost players on defense. I think they've lost players on offense. I just think they're in our window is closed. Now I need to reopen it. And I think they're going to want a new head coach for that. Yeah. That's my prediction.
It's funny because I have them also at third place, 9-8. But it's funny because we have them over a 500 record, and that's like we're talking all these negative things. But guess what? They got Josh Allen, and stuff is possible when you have Josh Allen behind the center.
Yeah,
and I still think they're an above average team with wild card potential.
Yeah,
and when you have Josh Allen, you never know. So 9-8 for me.
And then obviously the New England Patriots 3-14. I mean, what do you got to say? Decent. Actually, there's not much talent. Yeah. A lot, and where there isn't, and sometimes, and in some spots where there's no talent, it's just an unproven player, like Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, right? Like their receiving room actually looks on paper pretty decent. Just a lot of unproven guys. I like Jacoby Brissett as a bridge quarterback. I actually like their quarterback room.
Yeah.
I think they have one of the best quarterback rooms in football, which is kind of actually a Patriot staple since Brady, because there was one where they had Brady, Brissett, and Garoppolo at one point. And so I think having having Brissett, May, and Milton in your quarter, I think that's a great quarterback room in terms of just raw talent and ability. We'll see what Gerard Mayo can be. I think he'll be a great head coach. They just have no talent, and their best players now gone. They traded away Matt Judon. Yeah. So Seth, if you don't know Seth, my best friend, he Patriots fan. Seth, I'm sorry. It's gonna be a long year for Patriot fans.
Don't worry though, Seth. I have you at a better record. I have them at a better record than Brady. I have them at 4-13.
I mean, it's just a bad team, man. And they've got the AFC East as their division. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a lot of losses right there. Because usually it was, Bill owns the Jets, so we were fine there. Yeah. But nope, not anymore. Now we got the West. I have got in first place. I know.
I'll take Raiders.
This is going to be shocking.
Raiders.
Okay. But I got the Chiefs at 12-5. I think Worthy's going to be Tyreek Hill in terms of what he can do. Maybe he's a little smaller, actually, which is kind of ironic because, Hill's a small receiver. But I really think that they're going to again be. I mean, you cannot bet against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Steve Spagnuolo. I refuse to do it. So 12-5 division winners.
Same for me. 12-5.
Then I got the Chargers, 10-7. I like Harbaugh. I think he's going to change things there. But I think they need a year to kind of overhaul. So I think this is their year where they go, okay, this is the loading year for next season.
Yeah. I also have the Chargers in second place at 9-8.
Okay.
The thing that scares me with them is just the receiving core. And I know there's potential, I guess we can say, with Quentin Johnson if he just has a bounce back year, because he's got, he's got the talent, he's got the height, he's got the, he's got the speed,
all the physical tools.
Yeah, speed. But with McConkey and then Josh Palmer, it's just this very, very below average receiving core. And, there's some young guys who still have a chance to prove themselves. But you also have Justin Herbert at quarterback. So you're fine there. And then I really like what they did at the running back depth this year. After losing Eckler, even though he wasn't himself anymore anyway, going out and getting Dobbins and Gus Edwards because, they hired the Ravens. What was it? The OC, right? Chargers hired the Ravens OC. That's just why Edwards and Dobbins followed.
I believe so, yes.
And I think, it's always been the question with Dobbins is, can he stay healthy? And he's never been. But, if he can stay healthy, they have a solid pieces on the offensive side of the ball. Right. And I think that gets them a 9-8 record.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Chase. Then I got the Raiders 7-10. I'd have them probably higher, maybe, in terms of the win total. But I just don't really trust Gardner Minshew as your quarterback. But I think that defense and I think Devontae Adams will will that team to 7 wins. And Pierce. I think Pierce is a good coach. Yeah. But you?
Our first disagreement here when it comes to teams and where they are.
Here we go.
I got the Broncos at 7-10.
Okay. I got the Broncos at 6-11.
And I got the Raiders. I got the Raiders at 6-11.
So we just flipped them.
Yep.
I think Bo Nix is going to flash. Same thing with Peyton and Nix. But I think that when he goes up against more seasoned defensive coaches, and we looked at their schedule,
Chiefs twice, and
off of the show one day, and we looked at how many defensive coaches they face. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Then I think that then they're good defensive coaches that I think are going to wipe the floor with Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
So
very well could be right.
And we get the AFC North. I got the Ravens at 12-5. I mean, what more do you say? Lamar, defensive talent, they're the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC right now, where every year we hype them up and then they just flop in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, they've made it farther than we have. I think they've made it to a conference championship game. I know at least one. I think they've made it to 2, maybe. They made it farther than we have. But in terms of preseason thinking on them, it's the same thing. Well, this is going to be the year they break out, maybe, or they finally get to Super Bowl, so we'll see.
12-5, first place.
I got the Bengals in second at 11-6 and a wild card team. I just think they're playing second fiddle. I think they're a leader in most divisions, but I think they just have to deal with a lot of talent in their own division.
Yeah, it's debatably the best division in football.
Yeah.
But I got the Bengals at 10-7 in second place.
Then I got the Browns in third place at 10-7, and my third wild card team.
Okay.
I really think 3 teams. I think it's going to be 2 wild cards out of the North. I really love that defense. We'll see what Deshaun Watson can do. It'll be, obviously adding Jerry Jeudy, and Amari Cooper. I mean, that's a really good receiving core. So, but we'll just have to see what they are. But I especially as a Cowboys fan, we'll really see what they are week 1. But I think they're a good team.
Yeah, for me as well in 3rd, but 9-8.
And then I got the Steelers in 4th at 9-8. Mike Tomlin will refuse to have them finish below 500, but I don't trust Russ. I really don't trust Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator. Yeah. They're just lacking so much on offense. I don't see them anywhere near playoff team.
The Tomlin argument is good for 500 record, but I actually have them in 4th at 8-9.
Wow. Okay, Chase. AFC South, I got the Texans at 12-5. I think this is a great year for them. I really do.
Texans 11-6.
And then I got the Colts at 10-7, just missing the playoffs behind the Browns. I really believe in Richardson. I believe in Shane Steichen. I really like that team. I just think they need another year to continue to add talent before they really get into that playoff picture.
I agree with you. Colts 9-8.
I got the Jags at 8-9, and I think Peterson may get fired. I think that I think they're one of the worst run organizations in football with Shad Khan. I just think that they're bad. They're poorly ran. They don't have a great support structure around Lawrence, and I think they're going to waste his career.
Yeah, you'd hope that's not the case with anybody, but I'm with you. I have them Jags in 3rd, 7-10.
So we're disagreeing on some records, but really placement we're pretty much agreeing.
We just have one disagreement on placement so far.
Then I got the Titans at 4th, 6-11. I think firing Mike Vrabel was one of the worst decisions in this year's offseason from any team. Only probably trumped by the Cowboys and their old shenanigans. I think the Titans are the worst decision in the offseason was Michael Penix. But no, in 3 years we may say it was the greatest decision. Yeah. But right now it's the worst decision. And I think that Levis is going to have a fine year. But I think they're just lacking some talent in some areas, and they'll have to have another offseason and try to add some.
Well, they did have a good offseason. They did. They made a lot of good additions on the defensive side of the ball. They added Calvin Ridley. They got Tony Pollard. They got a good backfield of Tyjae Spears and Pollard. They got Hopkins, Chigakonkwo, and Calvin Ridley as the receiving core. Obviously, Chig's their tight end, but still. I think they have the pieces to be a solid team, but I'm with you on that. I think when it comes to coaching and just putting everything together. And again, everything is on Levis' shoulders. And can he be solid? Can he be good enough? But I'm also with you. I have the Titans at 6-11.
I mean, I like some of the things they've done on defense, like you've said, but
added Snead, I believe.
I think that. I think their offensive line, besides J.C. Latham, has some problems. I think you're relying a lot on 3 vets in Calvin Ridley, D-Hop, and Tyler Boyd. Like, I think on paper, you recognize a lot of names, but I think in practice, they're not going to be that great. But I could be wrong. I mean, I could easily flip them in the Jags and feel comfortable about that. But I think firing Mike Vrabel was a bad decision, and that's simply why I'm putting them there.
Yep.
Then we move to the NFC East. Oh, boy. Now, I want everyone to know this is not a homer pick, but I am picking the Dallas Cowboys to win the division. I just don't think the Eagles are better at the things I don't trust Sirianni. I think he might get fired. I think they're going to implode. I don't think the Giants are better than us, and neither are the Commanders. So I think we are the champions simply because we're the better team, and we're better ran in terms of coaching, not ownership. Definitely not ownership. Yeah. But I have us at 12-5.
Shocker.
But I mean, you can't argue with history. What do you have, Chase?
I do have the Dallas Cowboys in first. But I haven't been 11-6.
Okay. I could definitely see that. I mean, there are some tough games on our schedule.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule.
We face the NFC North or the AFC North this year.
Yeah.
So,
it's just a tough schedule.
Those could easily be 3 losses.
Lions, Niners, Ravens.
There's 3 more losses potentially. Yeah. There's potentially 6 losses right there. And then the Texans.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Falcons.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule, and that's I have us win the division.
Yeah,
because listen, Philly plays everybody too, right? that how it works?
Yes.
Okay.
Divisions play
Yes.
other divisions.
I thought so.
So
I have 11-6 winning the division.
we'll get to the Cowboys. We will look at them because they're our team. I will talk about them when we get to the game because
next week.
Because they're our team. We do say that we're DFW oriented. I got the Eagles at 10-7, not making the playoffs. Want to preface that. I kind of gave them the reasons there. So, who do you have a second?
I have the Eagles, 10-7.
Giants 9-8.
What is your Eagles record?
10-7.
Okay.
I just don't trust Daniel Jones. That's it. I love almost everybody else on that football team, except the most important part, the quarterback.
What was your record?
So I have 9-8
for the Giants.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a disagreement here.
Okay.
Commanders in third.
Ooh.
7-10.
I got the Commanders at 5-12. I think a one game. I have a sinking gut feeling that Daniels is going to get hurt on that field.
Again, this is a prediction based off of.
I think Dan Quinn's defense got exposed last season, and so I think I think that being exposedness will be further exploited by teams. Now we go to the NFC West. I have got the San Francisco 49ers.
Hold on a second.
What?
My fourth place.
Giants.
Giants 5-12.
Okay. So we kind of flipped those two. Niners 13-4. What more did you say? This is the final year of that window because Purdy's going to get paid next season.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make some decisions on the cap. But right now, 13-4.
13-4.
And then I've got the Seattle Seahawks in second at 10-7 and a wild card spot.
Okay.
I trust Mike McDonald. I like the hire. I like Geno. I really like Lockett and DK, obviously, and then I love that defense. JSN. I mean, they've got a good team that I think is starting to figure themselves out.
Rams in second, 11-6. For me,
really,
yes. I think a lot of their struggles last year were, well, let's see. They didn't really struggle. I guess they made the playoffs. I think they're going to just reciprocate what they did last year. And they're only going to be better because Kupp does not have that lingering hamstring injury going into the year. People, the talks about, Kupp had a really down year last year for his standards because he was hurt. And there was a lingering issue, which there was. And he has been cleared. And there's been confirmation that he is good to go. And I think, with the sophomore year Puka, and the defense is solid in Stafford, and you got Kyron Williams, and now added Blake Corum to have more running back depth.
Yeah.
The team's overall solid. So Rams second, 11-6.
I got them at 9-8. I think they're a good team for the reasons you just listed, but I feel like, and I know I said I don't use injuries, but I feel like defense has some question marks, especially without Donald. And I think that you have one injury to your quarterback, and they are dead.
Yeah, I hope not, but yes.
So I like the Seahawks better. It's just personal. Who do you have in third?
Ready for this? Arizona Cardinals in third at 7-10. Kyler Murray, bounce back season. And first off, it wasn't even a bounce back. He was out. And when he came back, they looked great. Additions of Trey Benson and Marvin Harrison Jr., adding a two-headed deep monster when it comes to the running back game. I have a high faith in I have a lot of faith in Benson. I think he's going to be a very good running back too.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Marvin Harrison Jr. I am super high on. I know you know that.
Everybody's high on him.
But I have been super high on Harrison. I've loved Harrison for a long time, and I think with Kyler there, that offense really is solid. I mean, they have Trey McBride, who I think is going to have a great year. They have, Kyler behind the helm, James Conner, Marvin Harrison Jr., Rondell Moore, right? Is there someone I'm missing at wide receiver?
I don't know.
Yes. What's his name?
I'm looking. Dortch?
No, what's his name? He got suspended for 5 games. Zay Jones. Zay Jones. I just think they're
No. Wait, whoa. They have Michael Wilson.
Oh yeah, and Michael Wilson
and Greg Dortch.
Zay Jones is there,
but Rondell Moore is not.
Oh, Moore's not. Okay, is he gone?
Yes, so.
Okay.
They actually picked up Xavier Weaver, too, from Colorado, who I liked.
But Zay Jones is there.
Yes.
And even though he is out for the first time. But
You're a fan of the team?
Yeah. I think they're going to be solid.
I got the Cardinals and fourth at 6-11.
Okay. So records weren't too far off.
I just think that they are still trying to put the pieces together and figure themselves out. And so I think next year is going to be that loading year that I'm talking about. But this year is kind of let's just see what we got.
And I got Seahawks in last at 7-10 as well.
Wow.
So same record as the Cardinals, but I have the Cardinals finishing in third.
NFC North, Lions, 13-4. I don't need to explain it. Yeah. It's the Lions.
12-5 for me.
Packers, wild card team, 11-6. I think they're going to continue to build off last year.
10-7 for me, second.
Then I've got the Chicago Bears at 10-7, and my third wild card team.
Wow, the Bears.
I like their defense. Hold on, I got to do it. Bears. I've got them. I mean, good defense. I really like Matt Eberflus, however you say his name. I think Caleb is going to play great facilitating football, just getting the ball to his weapons, and I think they're going to be one and done. But I think they'll be 10-7 and in the playoffs.
Yeah. Prove it to me. Bears in third, 8-9.
Okay. Vikings 5-12. They would have probably actually been my third wildcard team if not for McCarthy's injury, simply because he's got the best receiver in football.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, though, 5-12 because you got Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Vikings 6-11 for me.
And then you got the NFC South. I got the Falcons at 10-7. I think they're a good team. But still not one of the top NFC teams. But they're still a good team. They're good enough to win.
Yeah, they're a good team, and they're in a weak division.
Yeah.
10-7 for me, first place.
Saints, 9-8. Decent, but not great.
Buccaneers, second, 9-8.
I got the Bucs in third, 8-9.
Okay.
Same thing as the Saints. I could not figure out where I wanted to put them, but I got the Bucs at 8-9, just kind of the same reason. Good, not great.
I got the Saints in third at 7-10.
And I got the Panthers improving a couple games. I think Dave Canale is going to figure out the offense. I think Young's going to show some development. But I think that team is just still really bad. I also think they have the worst owner in football now in David Tepper. So,
yeah, I mean, I do. Looking at my record now, I'm not going to change it because I already wrote it. But I have Panthers at 3-14.
Okay.
But I'm not going to be shocked if they have a 5-win season.
Now, you don't have to do one for you if you don't want to, because this doesn't count for anything. But I feel like people want to hear a Super Bowl pick. My dad's asked me, what's your Super Bowl pick? Seth's asked me, what's your Super Bowl pick? I have finalized my pick, preseason Super Bowl. The AFC Conference Championship game will be the Chiefs and the Ravens, and the Ravens will prevail. When it comes to the NFC, things get weird because I feel like if I pick the Cowboys to be in the Conference Championship game, I'm being a homer. I don't think, so my reasoning for this will be this. I don't think I am not picking us right now to make the conference game because we have not shown that we can beat the Niners. And until we can show we can actually hang with the other guys in the NFC in the playoffs, I will not pick Dallas. Because of that, I have the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers in the conference. I know it's lazy to pick the top teams again, but I think they're both rematches from last year. Wasn't it Ravens, Chiefs in the
Yeah.
So I have two rematches, but this time I have two different outcomes. The Lions prevailing over the Niners, and the Super Bowl LIX, whatever, I don't know, Roman numerals, whatever it was last year, the Super Bowl, whatever it is, champion will be the Detroit Lions.
Hey, I like it.
I'm picking the Lions.
I like it.
But now we get to the fun one, everybody. It is Week 1. It is time for our Week 1 predictions.
You'll write me down somewhere on there.
Yeah, I usually make you an asterisk just because I can't. I put a C.
Okay.
Sorry, I get the column, but
all yours.
Because if you don't know, I put this all. I have notebooks with all this in it because I like to keep a physical copy. To start off tomorrow, we will actually miss tomorrow's game. We both have taken a job here at the University of North Texas for one of their sports network to cover Denton Ryan football. We will both be doing either stats and seeker spotter.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be behind the scenes stuff. So you will not be able to watch the game, but I'm sure we will keep up with it.
Yes.
Try to figure it out. But Ravens Chiefs. Chase, I usually like to let you go first on these.
Man. Where's it at?
It's in Kansas City.
Give me the Chiefs.
Chase wants the Chiefs. I know I picked the Ravens. This is my preview of the AFC Championship game. I mean, you got the Chiefs, great offense, but usually I feel like they start off a little slow. There's a lot of expectations. With the Ravens though, I'm gonna stay Chiefs here.
Yeah.
Packers at Eagles.
But it's in Brazil, right?
Is it in Brazil?
Yeah, it's the Friday game.
I mean, I'm gonna make I've made my pick.
Give me the Eagles.
Okay.
But
we're disagreeing here.
Okay.
I got the Packers.
Okay.
I think they're a good team and they're a better team. Steelers at Falcons. So Arthur Smith makes his return to Atlanta.
Immediately.
Great. I don't think we're going to disagree on this one, though.
No, give me the Falcons.
I'm taking Falcons. Texans at Colts. Interesting matchup here. I mean, these are two teams that are going to be probably fighting for that number one spot.
It's harder because it's in Indianapolis.
It is.
I will take the... Man.
I've made my pick, so.
Give me the Texans.
I'm going Colts.
Okay.
Going Colts because I think the Texans overhauled their team a lot with some new weapons.
Yeah.
I think they'll take some time to get going. I think the Colts simply are adding their quarterback back.
I'm just going to take the better team.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. The first time I'm picking I'm picking a road team there too, though.
Yeah.
No, you're picking road team. I've gone road team technically once, but it was the Packers.
It's not really. Yeah.
I'm going home team most of it. Cardinals at Bills. I mean, I feel like
no spoiler here, but I will be going with a road team.
Really, you're going Cardinals?
No. Eventually, I will be going with a road team.
Oh yeah, I think we both will. I'm going Bills.
Give me Bills.
I mean, pretty self-explanatory here. Titans at Bears. Good matchup. I really feel like an interesting matchup. One you don't see too often because AFC, NFC. But it's Caleb Williams' first game, Week 1 in Chicago. I mean, that's a big deal.
I'm gonna take the Bears.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that one. I really think that they're going to come out swinging for the first week. Patriots at Bengals. I feel like the Patriots every week should be pretty easy. I feel like we're going to pick them to go 0-17 because we're never going to pick them.
Yeah.
But it's going to be kind of weird. I mean, I'm going Bengals.
Give me Bengals.
At home, come on. I mean,
sounds like Jamar Chase's contract is close. He did practice today.
I swear he's on both my fantasy teams. I need him to play.
Yeah.
Jags at Dolphins. Again, I feel like
Dolphins.
I'm not going to be, different and pick the Jags here. Panthers at Saints. My God. I mean, Panthers, I think they need to figure out their offense first.
Saints.
So I'm going Saints. Sorry that we're not
Prove
really...
me wrong, second matchup when they play in Carolina, I might take the Panthers, but...
So you've taken one road team. I think I've taken the home team every single time.
Yeah.
So far, it's not a strategy. I just don't really. Hold on, I like to put a little thing here that shows where we disagree, because that's how you gain games on somebody.
Yeah.
You have to disagree to gain. I don't think we've disagreed. Okay, so we're caught up. Vikings at Giants. This is interesting because they're both kind of meh teams.
Vikings.
I almost want to go Giants. I mean, I feel like good. They got the better defense, and arguably the better offense. But we're arguing who's the better quarterback, Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold. I'm going to go Giants here.
Okay.
And you're going Vikings.
I'm going Vikings.
So we've got 3 disagreements so far. Raiders at Chargers.
A lot of division matchups, so it's like it's toss ups.
And this is a rematch of that. Absolute.
Yeah, the overtime.
Absolute. What 60 something to whatever? No. This is the rematch of like the 65 to like 70. Remember that?
Well, yeah. No Herbert, but yes.
I'm going Chargers. I'll go ahead and tell you that.
I'll take the Chargers.
All right. Have I taken a road team? I haven't. Well, I mean, we may have to fix that here in a second. Broncos at Seahawks.
I'm gonna take Seahawks.
I'm taking Seattle. I mean. They're at home. That is one of those home field advantage stadiums. You know what? For the first time, I'll be taking a road team here. I am taking the Dallas Cowboys over the Browns. I think the players have heard the noise. I think they're kind of tired of the noise, and I think they want to come out and show that they can beat a good team like Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm gonna take us as well. Go Cowboys. It's not a biased pick. I'm hoping we can. Last year it was the Giants where we let off a 40-0 win. But I'm hoping they can just start off the season again on a high note and just
Look,
get their confidence up going.
When it comes to Dallas, there are question marks at the running back spot, right? There's some question marks at your third receiver spot. You have two rookies at the two most important offensive line positions, in Beebe and Guyton. Mm-hmm. Both have looked great, but you're going up against that dog pound defense, which is
debatably the best defensive player. Debatably, I'll put TJ Watt in there, of course, but top two defensive players in football going head to head.
I mean, Myles Garrett will be coming off that edge, and then you got Dalvin Tomlinson, who'll be coming up the middle, and then obviously he'll be blitzing with Devin Bush and Jordan Hicks and JOK. So offense is going to have their hands full. Defense is going to have to deal with Jerry Jeudy and the ever-prevalent Amari Cooper potential revenge game, the why the hell did you trade me game. Great offensive line. I think really good offensive line. And then you got, I won't make a comment, but Deshaun Watson, and then
we'll see.
What?
We'll see. Hopefully it's a good.
I mean him personally.
Oh. Who knows?
But I think that we're a better. I think we're a better team. I think they're going to give us some problems, but I think we're a better team. The Cowboys this season, we've talked about it. I mean, we look like we're probably going to go to the playoffs, but I feel like, okay, everything goes according to what it should. We're going to the playoffs. What can we do when we get there? We got two mad teams again, Commanders at Buccaneers. Who are you going with? I mean,
Buccaneers.
I think I'm gonna go with you there on the Buccaneers. Rams at Lions.
Lions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. There's no reason to disagree there. And then Jets at 49ers. Robert Saleh faces his old coordinator, or his old head coach. I'll make you a deal. If you go Jets, I'll go Jets.
No, I'm going Niners.
Going Niners? Oh, man, you're putting me to a decision. I'm going Jets. And for one reason. Oh, you went Niners. Aaron Rodgers absolutely kills the 49ers every time he plays them. So I'm going. Oh, you can't now. You already locked it in.
No,
I'm messing with you. I'm going Jets. So we disagree. We disagree 4 times. So someone's gonna get. So someone could gain potentially 4 games on the other person. It's kind of crazy. Like a big hole to start.
Yeah.
So
here we go.
Here we go. It'll be week 1, and we will see you folks back here for week 2.
Yeah. We are back.
It's back. Football is back. Yes, this is the best 2 months of sports. I have said this. You get football and baseball, and you get the best part of baseball season. The part that I hate to say the best part, it's the best part that really matters. The September pennant race in the playoffs. I mean, that's so excited. So excited.
Tip off and puck dropper soon.
Oh man, there's a time where we get all 4.
Yeah.
So, and it's the best time of the year.
Yep.
So we will see you guys next week.
See ya.